I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, everybody, I'm Matt Ocamp.
And I'm Pat Reber.
And say it with us, Daniel.
Welcome to Mutant Menace.
Patrick, how the bastard are you tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm a little tired. I just took the longest nap in the world.
Patrick, this comic book ruled.
Yo, absolutely. I'm so excited about what we are getting into today. Do you want to tell them the name, Matt, in case they ignored the title on the
Yeah, we read
the episode?
The 1984 6-issue limited series Kitty Pryde and Wolverine.
Ooh.
It is about a little girl named Kitty Pryde and her big, tough, hairy friend, Wolverine.
Yeah. There's a few other characters in here as well that I'm really excited to get to. I love
Carmen Pryde.
Carmen Pryde. Kitty Pryde's father.
He's kind of the biggest wiener we've seen in X-Men comics thus far.
He is, and they that's intentional. They want him to look like a wiener. He's got a heavily receding hairline. He's got the most ridiculous clothes. He's made to look like a middle-aged, out-of-date man. He's
the definition of a dipnorts, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I think that is the perfect word for it, Matt.
And
a real dipnorts.
And he acts like a dipnorts pretty much the whole time.
He's doing a lot of yelling, but because that's all he can do with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And drinking, I guess. He does a lot of drinking.
So did you love this as much as I did?
I did. I had such a good time.
I didn't remember loving this as much when I first read it.
I know. When you described it to me before we read it, you were like, yeah, it's fine. It's a kind of weird little self-contained story. It'll be easy to read through. And reading through it, I was prepared to fight you over that.
I think it's Al Milgram's art that holds me back. I think the art is pretty, not just like, I think it's bad. I think it's actively bad.
Al Milgrom does a thing. We've talked about this before. He does, not with Al Milgrom specifically, I don't think, but he does a thing that we both don't like with faces, where like all the features are always too big and they shift around a little bit, and also the faces are inconsistent from panel to panel, right? He draws ugly people, but not in a way that's like seems like it's trying to mock them or be like it doesn't seem like an artistic choice as much as this is just he draws faces ugly. But the action in this, I think, is brilliant. The way that the fight scenes all play out, and even there's some sneaking around scenes in here as well. I think that tells its own story, and it came alive on the page for me.
I think he is a good inker. I think he is a, passable Bronze Age writer, right? Like when Al Milgrom writes a thing, you're just going to get like a Bronze Age story, right?
Yeah, it doesn't go super deep.
But yeah, as a penciler, not a fan. I know he will he will be the artist on Secret Wars 2.
Okay.
And yeah, not a big Al Milgrom guy.
I disagree with you, Matt. And I gotta say, as you read through the recaps here, you may end up complimenting him more than you mean to.
So anyway, this is the miniseries where this is sort of one of the many follow-ups to the Wolverine miniseries. Claremont will spend, 10 years writing various follow-ups to the Wolverine miniseries
Sure.
in various ways, and this is one of them. It is also sort of the Kitty Pryde grows up, and I will want to talk about this. I have no idea what the fuck possessed Chris Claremont to do. Like, clearly he had a very strong intent.
Yeah.
Much like his intent to turn Ileana Rasputin into magic, he was attempting to turn Kitty Pryde into SHADOWCAT. And I don't fucking know why, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
I know it's like it struck him one night where he's just like, he shot up in bed and said, "I need to make Kitty Pryde an adult now."
Yes,
enough.
And I need to change her from a relatable audience surrogate to like an otherworldly assassin character.
Sort of, yeah. We'll get into it, but I like the character that comes out the other side, like the ultimate result that is Kitty Pryde at the end of this, or SHADOWCAT at the end of this. Spoiler for the end.
All right. Well, before we start talking about this damn comic.
Yeah, what should we do before that? Oh, Matt, I know exactly what we should do now.
I was just about to answer.
Get into Pat's email corner. We got a slim inbox today. Let's talk about it.
Talk about the slim inbox?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk about the first email in this slim inbox from Weapon Jason.
Oh, Weapon Jason.
He's responding to episode 53, the Demon Bear Saga. He says, "This was a fun podcast, and I appreciated you exposing yet another person to a weird, excellent slice of the X-Men universe they likely would never have sought out and read on their own. And this is a particularly weird slice. The art kicks ass, but I'll be honest that when that first issue landed in my collector box, a wild concept that Island Fantasy, the local comic shop, had, I was initially not impressed.
Wow.
Everything looked scratchy and wrong and weird, and it felt hard to follow since it wasn't using the expected language of comics. Panels don't seem to flow and are uneven, and things feel incomplete. And then I hit that page with the giant bear towering over Danny with those claws, and it clicked."
I think this is probably the thing that happens to people at a lot of different eras of comic books. Comic books start to develop, a language, and you as the reader start to intellectualize the small distinctions between how different people speak that language. And so when somebody comes in speaking a completely new language, you kind of think they just don't know how to do it right. You're like, okay, maybe some of this looks cool, but where's the big heroic pose? If I don't see the heroic pose, how do I know that it's the hero? Right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Your mind just kind of immediately rubber bands back to what it understands, right?
And it happens with so many of these sort of like smaller, maybe niche comic runs that comics people consider foundational, where like you recommend something to someone that's a famous arc because it changed the art of comic books forever. That person has to start by looking at something that is trying to change the art of comic books forever. Like it's not immediately appealing, but if the story of it clicks, or I don't know, I keep wanting to call it the game, but that's an improv term. If the idea clicks for you, then that's when it becomes a piece of art. And so that is cool, especially that one demon bear towering over Danny frame, that it had that impact.
The more I think about it, the more I think Sienkiewicz's art is what's going to inspire all the crazy dark art of the 1980s that you see in like Doom Patrol and Shade the Changing Man and like the Vertigo series, right? Like Sandman and Swamp Thing, right? Like clearly that was all inspired by older comics too. That was all inspired by like horror comics and Bernie Wrightson stuff. But I don't know that they would have had the
chutzpah.
Yeah, to get so dark and so ink heavy and so conceptual had Sienkiewicz not done this in a mainstream book.
Yeah.
Because it's within what, like 3-4 years that dark Vertigo, like DC Vertigo art style starts becoming super popular.
So Weapon Jason actually compares it to Citizen Kane in the sense that like coming out, it was revolutionary, but looking back at it, you might say like, what is the big deal? It's just some kind of funny drawings, not understanding like this is comic books now. This is just what I understand as comic books. Sometimes people do experimental art. I think he says it much more concisely, and I was trying to paraphrase.
I think we're going to have to reckon with that again when we hit the 90s and like the Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, sure.
That whole era happens because it's gonna suck, right? We are going to, because that was an experiment that failed, right? Like that was an experiment that made ugly comics for like 4 years. And led to a different style of ugly, right? Like as when people started growing out of it, they started growing into the like Joe Madureira, Chris Bachalo thing, which Joe Madureira and Chris Bachalo were good, but every comic was trying to mimic that nearly cartoony, over exaggerated
the
style.
Cartoonish and the like these that came along with the new coloring technology too, right?
Which everyone hated at the time. I remember that. I remember in the mid 90s, everybody complaining about, everyth's colored with computers now. It's like, well, it kind of always was. But.
Kind of always was. I still kind of hate it though.
But that spun out of the Rob Liefeld kind of thing. And it was a failure, and we're going to look at it and we're going to see it as the failure that it was, and we're going to be like, look, this art is so ugly, but we will have to try and think of it as like, this is somebody who is doing something new.
Yeah.
If we can find appreciation in it.
I might just be a hater about it, but we'll see when we get there. He wraps up here. Weapon Jason says, lastly, in my memory, the punk aesthetic in the 80s was 100% coded as violent, anarchist, dangerous, and criminal. I know we've been joking about Kitty's reaction to Storm's haircut, but getting a mohawk in the 80s or wearing spikes and leather was not just a fashion choice. It was signaling rebellion and rejection of societal rules in a way that was aggressive and scary.
Yeah, if you're fucking square.
I'm sorry, Weapon Jason, but as somebody who grew up among and granted in the 90s, not in the 80s, but grew up among mohawked folk, it takes 10 seconds to learn that somebody with a mohawk is almost, I would say maybe 75% of the time, is a pretty nice person.
I think I think I don't entirely blame Weapon Jason for this, because it was part of the thing to like, part of the punk thing was challenging this, being like intentionally coming off that way to like just kind of shake people out of where their comfort zones were.
Yeah. An old-fashioned freak out, the hippies would call it.
But like punk stuff was, I don't know. It
was so harmless. Like, not harmless in... there are plenty of harmful punks. And there are... and granted, we grew up in the Hot Topic era, so I very vividly recall my stepdad telling me a story of having to go into Hot Topic to buy me a birthday present or Christmas present or something, getting visibly uncomfortable by the clerk, and then being shocked by how kind he was. And then from then on would like start conversations with people with bright purple hair and then brag to me about it.
Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me? Your dad used to talk to me?
It very well could have been you at one point. But at the same time, because he acknowledges a lot of this is probably media depictions in the time.
Yeah.
You have to remember that this is the year Terminator came out, where Paxton plays a blue spiky-haired punk that tries to kill the Terminator just for being a naked guy.
You know, and again, just to speak in Weapon Jason's defense a little bit, that's how punks wanted to come across, right? Like, that was part of the thing. We're supposed to look dangerous and scary, but they weren't really. And that's, I think, the thing we're reacting to about Kitty Pryde and Storm. Like, she knows Storm.
Yeah. This isn't a new person. This isn't suddenly a criminal.
And Chris Claremont chose to write Storm dressing this way. And Chris Claremont is like, and it makes her a violent, mean guy now.
In truth, punks are just nerds. Punks are just nerds that found a different outlet to, and I mean this as a high compliment, but found a different outlet for their nerdery.
The movie SLC Punk, I think, is a good distillation of that. Like, it might not be the best distillation of what it was like to hang out in punk circles, but it is a good distillation of this is just another kind of nerddom.
It's the same idea of social rejection and coping with that while being particularly smart in very specific areas.
Yes. Yeah. To speak like an internet guy, tell us you haven't been to a punk show without telling us you haven't been to a punk show.
Ugh, I hated that, Matt. I'm on Weapon Jason's side now. Up next and last today, Matt, I told you it's a slim inbox. Daniel, listener Daniel, we gotta get this guy a nickname.
Look, we're going to think really hard about it. We're going to get this guy a nickname.
Yeah, we'll read through. We remember at the end of the email this time that we still owe him.
Nickname Daniel? Maybe we call him Nickname Daniel?
No name Daniel.
No nickname Daniel? No, that's not good.
He sends us a lot of thoughts as he continues to catch up through older episodes. He's arriving on Days of Future Past just now. And
Danny Ketchup. Danny Ketchup. No, not good.
Danny Ketchup is not quite there, but we're in the right vein.
No, we're getting close.
Danny Ketchup. Okay, we'll keep turning it over. Those comments about past issues are just for us. He does have a few comments about the 20 minutes that he listens to of each episode to hear our intros in Pat's email corner. Sweet Douglas, he might be reaching out to you somehow to talk about the similar places you're on in your X-Men and Mutant Menace journey. He says, after listening to the beginning bit on Jim Shooter in your Secret Wars episode, I now understand why you make so many snarky comments toward him in your past episodes. But yeah, I'm not sure who that is. He's
never heard of the guy.
Yeah. You asked what team up pairings would absolutely suck for the X-Men, and I have to say the Thunderbolts. I think he's absolutely right here that like the early eras of the Thunderbolts and the X-Men teaming up would be a disaster.
Yeah. That'd be bad.
They're two teams that it's not hard to get under the skin of and that aren't restrained from reacting to that.
Yeah, and teams full of like what might be loose cannons if they weren't in their proper context.
Yes.
And so just having a bunch of people yell at each other and start fights with each other and not do like that would be well. So there's the Dark Reign era that kind of explores this a little bit, but in a very specific way. All right, yeah, all right.
That's true. It's one
we'll
of the
talk
great
about that in
X-Men
7
stories,
years.
but yeah. You made a comment about the X-Men playing D&D, and I have to agree that characters like Kitty Pryde and Beast would totally be into it. But there's actually a small artist that does a small artist. There's actually
Hi, I got a picture for you.
There's actually a small artist that does comedy comic strips of the X-Men playing D&D, and I feel like you guys would love it. I don't know the artist, and I'm too lazy to look it up now, so feel free to find it in the wild.
If somebody finds it, fucking tell us. I don't know how to look that up.
What about Not Helpful Daniel?
That's pretty close. That's good. Let's keep thinking in that.
Still not there, but yeah. Finally, Professor X not living up to people's idealizations of how he acts as a mentor figure and revolutionary idol kind of lines up with how real revolutionary idols have behaved in history, such as the infidelity rumors with Martin Luther King and sexual assault accusations with Cesar Chavez. I will say, infidelity rumors with Martin Luther King, any rumors with Martin Luther King, I chalk up to being an FBI fabrication.
Well, also, and I'm not going to sit here and say I know Martin Luther King was a fully stand-up guy in all aspects of his life. I don't know. He was long dead before I was alive, but I don't fucking care about infidelity rumors.
Not
ever.
At all. Yeah.
Ever in any context. I don't know shit about people's marriages. And like, I know there's a Gen Z kind of thing about like equating cheating to like high treason, to like a cancelable offense. And that's just the biggest bullshit that I've ever fucking heard. Like, you don't know what's going on in people's relationships.
Yeah, it doesn't that doesn't invalidate the work that anybody's doing.
No, and it doesn't even necessarily say something. It doesn't necessarily say something bad about a person's character, because you don't know. You don't know what their marriage was like. And nobody should, and you don't, like, it's so easy for somebody to go say online and say, my boyfriend cheated on me or my girlfriend cheated on me. And everybody's going to turn on that person. What a fucking piece of shit, right? You don't know how badly they might have been treating their partner, and their partner might not have known how to break up with them, right? Like, there's a million things that could have happened that are more complicated than you realize. And I fucking hate, sorry, this is a rant that I go on sometimes. I really hate I really hate the demonization of infidelity as like a cultural virtue. I think it is a personal thing that can be horrible.
But it's none of your business.
It's none of your fucking business, right? Like, if my best friend's partner cheated on them, I'd be really mad at that partner, right?
Yeah.
But that's just amongst our friends and our business. And part of my brain would also hold space for, but who knows? Maybe my friend didn't sleep with them in 5 years, right? Like, and maybe there were other things going on in that relationship I didn't understand. Like, I don't know, whatever.
And again, I'm not saying he was infallible, but most of the negative things you hear about Martin Luther King were made up by the FBI.
Same with like this shit you hear. Same with when you hear shit about Malcolm X or Fred Hampton or any of the black revolutionaries of the 60s and 70s.
Cesar Chavez stuff sucks.
That sucks. That's horrible.
Recently. That's real. That's pretty awful.
Yeah,
but
I will never defend anything like that.
Okay, he bids us farewell, but he does mention that he stopped in Phoenix, Arizona, and wants to shout out Dreadnought Comics and Samurai Comics. He shows off some of their collections. Seems like if you're somebody that likes original printings of issues and signatures on those original printings, they have a wealth of them. He's got some really cool.
Real cool pictures.
Yeah. So thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
And I don't know, did we think of a nickname for him or? Oh,
fuck. I'd have thought about that too, and you'll have to remind me next episode because we can't talk about it outside. But
that's the end of Pat's Email Corner. But
I'm gonna want remind me next episode, and we'll get you that nickname, Daniel. Patrick.
Yeah.
That's how Wolverine answers the phone, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Did I do anything X-Men related? In fact,
That is the
I
question.
did, Matt.
Oh, okay.
I would call it maybe a long-awaited Christmas gift or an early birthday gift from the co-host of an X-Men podcast I listen to called Mutant Menace.
Motherfucker. Oh, okay.
Matt Allcamp.
If you had said Jay or Miles, I would have flipped the fuck out.
No, it was you, Matt.
Oh.
You gave me a gift that you bought for me back in September based on Pat Steals and Deals from episode 25. It is the Chiquita banana walkie-talkies from the How We Saved the Universe with our banana talkies and got back to tell about it with our banana compasses.
I didn't get you a banana compass. I'm sorry.
Couldn't find the compass, but you did get me 2 walkie-talkies with the belt clips. Each of them have the belt clips, which, if you remember, cost extra. I am extremely grateful, Matt. Thank you for these wonderful walkie-talkies.
Yeah,
They're
of course.
Huge. They are like 3 times the size of an actual banana.
Well, that's what we talked about in the episode, is like, it's supposed to be like, oh, you don't know I'm talking on my walkie-talkie. You just think I'm holding a banana.
Grabbing a snack.
I'm just holding a giant banana.
With an antenna sticking out of it.
Did you try them yet? Do they work?
No, I haven't. I have to pick up 9-volt batteries, but I will keep you posted.
Do they still make those?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Those were a product of the 80s.
I think they discontinued them.
Went out with the 8-track. How about you, Matt? Have you done anything X-Men related this week?
I've been reading some X-Men. Actually, I've been reading the Excalibur run, the Alan Davis Excalibur run, the one after Chris Claremont leaves in the early 90s. And it's really good. It's so funny and it's so charming and it's so sweet. And he introduces so many bad new characters in the midst of this really cool run. So there's like Kylun and Pharaon and Micromax. But like it's just dumb good fun, and it's almost like a sequel to his so Alan Davis did Captain Britain with Alan Moore around where we are, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And then when Alan Moore left, for a while Alan Davis wrote and drew Captain Britain.
Oh, okay.
And this almost feels like a sequel to his Captain Britain run.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting. Alan Davis doing incredible art and then following as a writer when incredible writers leave the books he's on.
Interesting pattern. He's the Roy Thomas of his day.
But yeah,
I am completely unfamiliar with Excalibur, so I'm excited for us to get to that.
Do you know of its existence? Do you know that there's a team called Excalibur?
Yes, and my understanding is they're like British X-Men, but that is the extent of my understanding or misunderstanding of them.
Then this will be interesting. It'll be interesting when we get there. And folks, something to look forward to. All right. Well, I see no reason why we should put this shit off any longer.
What shit?
I'd love if we could talk about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, the miniseries from 1984.
Oh my God, Matt. Yes, this is exactly what I want to talk about too. Should we catch up a little bit from, I don't think there's much to catch up on, but.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Tell us what context you feel like people need for this miniseries.
Yeah, so over in the X-Men, the last few issues since Secret Wars have mostly just been them catching up, going on wacky little adventures. They fought a dragon. They fought
mostly like wrapping
Selene.
up weird loose ends of Secret Wars.
Yeah. Notably, Kitty did not join them for Secret Wars. She was kicking it with the New Mutants at the time. Peter Colossus did.
I think it's because Jump Shumpy does not like Kitty Pryde.
We're pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, however, did. Colossus went to Secret Wars, fell in love with a cat-eyed woman, came back. She died, but he came back and broke up with Kitty. Kitty was devastated, left the school, left the mansion, returned home. That's the last time we saw her. I think about halfway through our last X-Men episode, she ran off crying.
Yeah.
Understandably so. It was a shitty breakup, which Wolverine and Nightcrawler taught Colossus a valuable lesson on, with Juggernaut's help.
So this kind of picks up where that leaves off. Kitty's like, I'm going back to see my parents. And that's where issue 1 starts. So this comic was released monthly from August 1984 to January 1985.
Ooh,
cover dates November 1984 to April 1985. Why was it a big year?
April 1985, Matt. We are scratching up against my first rebirth.
Yeah, you're still dead at this point, but you are almost not dead anymore.
That's right.
Chris Claremont is the writer for the entire series. Al Milgrom is the artist for the entire series. It's lettered by Tom Orzechowski, and Joe Rosen does issue 3. Louise Jones and Ann Nocenti co-edit issue 1, but then Ann Nocenti is the sole editor for the rest of the series. And then Chimp Suter is the editor-in-chief. So, Pat, why don't you kick back, put your feet up on the microphone, take your jacket off, and let me read you all about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine #1, Lies. Chicago, Illinois. Kitty Pryde wraps up an ice skating session at a local pond and reflects on her situation. She took a hiatus from Xavier's school after Peter broke her heart and has been staying with her dad ever since. She decides to visit him at the family-style bank he apparently owns to express her gratitude, knowing she should return to Xavier sometime soon. This bank.
A couple things, yeah. Family banks just don't exist anymore.
No.
Right? that is I'm sure that back in the 80s they still were around. But what a concept.
That is, I think, the thing here is like, she's talking about how, oh, this used to be a family bank, but now it's getting bought by corporate interests or whatever. And I mean, like, this is the plot of every film in the 1940s, is like a family bank, a family savings and loan. The Knickerbocker Savings and Loan is being taken over by corporate giants, and they're kicking everyone in town out of the dang houses.
Yeah, this is, in no other sense is this like It's a Wonderful Life, but here's the one similarity.
Nor is it like going my way. There's not a nice priest and a mean priest. If Wolverine is
Maybe.
The nice priest and Logan is the mean
Depends
priest.
on your definition of priest. The other thing we don't really have anymore is ponds that people ice skate on, like just nice public. Maybe is where, I guess, on the East Coast we're coastal elites, so maybe towards the Midwest in the Chicago area that's a little more common, but I don't think that's something I've ever seen in my life.
Do you think that's because so many movies in the 90s had a subplot where somebody was skating on a pond and fell through the ice and either died or almost died?
I think that's maybe it's the legitimate danger of that happening is the reason it stopped.
The bank's hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, she gets there, it's already closed. That's another bygone era, right? Banks are open for people who
have jobs.
Yeah. Who can't just leave work to go to the bank.
So when she arrives there, as Pat says, it's closed, but it's no problem for Kitty. She just breaks in and wanders down to his office where he's clearly in a meeting.
She just breaks into a bank. She just phases through.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You're not allowed to do that, Kitty Pryde. The security guard even sees her and she's like, hey. And he's like, what? What are you doing here? She hears yelling and the sound of a slap from behind the door and demands to know what's going on. She's greeted by an intimidatingly large bodyguard who is commanded to let her in. Her father, clearly sore from a slap across the face, introduces her to a collection of shady men that he explains are from the organization that recently purchased the bank. Among the names are Shumai, who's the large bodyguard, and Mr. Ogun from, quote, from the main office.
Shumai is a large, balding man with a ponytail. Extremely large, a little bit. Now, we'll learn that he's an ex-sumo wrestler, and that makes it all click. But when he's wearing like a fine Italian suit and you can't necessarily tell that he's Japanese from the art. He just looks like a big man with a tiny ponytail.
He looks like comic book guy from The Simpsons at first.
Yeah.
And I love this. I love Kitty being introduced to a bunch of gangsters and then being like, hey, boss, it's a little girl, right? And none of them knowing that, with, as we'll find out, the exception of one of them, this is a fucking little girl who could kick the living shit out of all of
you.
Yeah, they all have this like sense of gangster superiority, and they have no idea. Like, they are looking at a girl who would end them. Anyway, her father's been asked to leave for Japan immediately by these men for urgent business. It's urgent business matter time, Pat. So
gotta go.
He gives Kitty some cat fare and asks her to just go back to Xavier's. Ogun offers to have Kitty come along, but her father snaps, clearly out of fear, demanding she stay out of Japan.
Stay out of Japan.
So, of course, she heads right for Japan. She takes a cab to the airport and phases onto a Japan Air flight for Tokyo.
This is a very pre-9/11 move.
Once there, still in her ice skating outfit and with about $4 American in her pocket, she looks up the name of her dad's new boss, Shigematsu, and phases her way into his building. She finds herself about 25 stories up when the jet lag finally hits and she decides to take a nap in an empty office with a couch in it. When security finds her and shoots first, she leaps out the window.
Ugh.
Man.
It's kind of wild. So as she arrives at this skyscraper, a storm starts and lightning starts shooting down from the sky, and she,
holding a pair of metal skates,
decides to start airwalking 25 stories up in the air. She's making herself the highest point of anything around her in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, very smart.
Bad move.
I mean, this is the dumbest we've ever seen Kitty Pryde be, and it will be for the next half an issue, right?
Sure, yeah. These are a series of bad panicked choices.
Yes. Cold, wet from the rain, tired, and a little lost, Kitty starts to panic. Security will be all over the property now looking for her. She needs the heat to die down, but has no place to stay, no money, and hasn't eaten since she left Chicago. Reluctantly, in a moment of desperation, she phases her arm through an ATM and pulls out a wad of cash.
Yes, Kitty.
Good job, Kitty.
Second time she breaks into a bank in this issue.
Alarm sound. The police immediately shows up. She drops the cash. The only reason you're in this,
I know. You can see it happening though, right? Like it's a bad choice that she makes, but you can see her just being like,
I didn't. Yeah.
Throwing the cash on the ground and running as fast as
I didn't take any. Look. She drops the cash, she runs, she phases through the ground below her to escape and lands in the sewer.
Ew.
She rides the current to safety.
The current is rapid. This current of pee and poop that she's riding in.
I was looking this up, and apparently Tokyo does have a big underground combined sewer, but like that you see this in movies and media all the time, this like idea of like a sewer with walkways on either side and big arches above and like a stream of shit, piss, and rainwater running down the middle.
Yeah. And
And
criminals lurking around every corner.
those are kind of real.
Yes.
They're rare.
There's a big flooding problem in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that they have these big and sometimes rushing underground sewers. Is it true that it is a combination of rainwater and wastewater?
In certain parts of Japan,
Okay.
yes. But most of the time, like in most cities that have these big underground sewers, they separate the rainwater from the sewage, especially in more modern cities, right? Like they have the wastewater all goes into a pipe and it's just rainwater that goes through these things.
Okay.
And more often they look more like in The Fugitive, where they're just a big round pipe.
With a usually small stream of water running through them.
Exactly. They usually don't have these like big walkways and like you could live down there. But some do. Like these aren't I was all ready to take the piss and shit out of this comic. But no, it's real.
Either way, I would say for our purposes, for the rest of this comic, Kitty is covered in poop and pee.
Yes. Yeah.
She stinks.
I don't know when. Well, we do see her get a bath eventually, but it's not for like
not
4
this
issues.
issue. Yeah,
exactly.
It's so. For the rest of this issue, everything she does, you just have to imagine she fucking reeks.
After a night on the streets, Kitty is cold, regretful, and starting to get sick as the sun rises on Tokyo. She's finally desperate enough to call the X-Mansion for help, but when Wolverine answers in the weirdest outfit I've ever seen in my life. He's wearing blue jeans and a crop top sweater vest.
A sweater, yeah.
Or a sleeveless sweater that stops just below his nipples.
Yes, it's clearly a sweater. It's sleeveless. It's a crop top. I don't know why you would do that to a sweater, but he's so cool.
When he answers, she just hangs up. She's a criminal now. They'd be so ashamed if they knew. What's worse, the ATM she robbed at a security camera, and her face is on the friggin' news. She knows she has to turn herself in, but has to explain to her father first. Once more, she phases into this Shigematsu's building, and this time locates his office, only to find her father agreeing to do crimes for him. A big crime boss.
Oh, no.
Yes, Mr. Crime Boss, I will do crimes with you.
Yes, agreed. We'll do crimes together.
She screams in terror at the thought, alerting everyone to her presence. To be continued.
This is as she goes, Dad! Like, how could you?
He's like, yes, I will do some crimes. No!
And that alerts everyone to her presence.
Yeah. Again, the dumbest we've ever seen
Ridiculous.
Kitty Pryde. Yeah, I feel so weird about this comic. She's, on one hand, the thing about Kitty Pryde was she was just a normal girl. Like the audience started being pulled into this crazy world of the X-Men, and we were supposed to kind of be like Kitty Pryde was our entryway into it. She was our way to say, oh, this is what it would be like if I'm a kid reading, if I were in the X-Men. But now suddenly her family is being brought to Japan to join an international crime syndicate.
So this is where for me, I can suspend my disbelief of like, okay, yes, he just happened to fall in with the Yakuza. that happens in this universe.
Yeah.
So that part I'm not so concerned about. And I think they at least do a good job of saying like, yeah, she's being stupid here because she's panicking.
Yes.
It becomes a theme for the rest of the miniseries where she has to calm herself down. She's doing the wrong things when she's panicking, but when she can center herself is when she starts winning. And this is all impulse. It's all panic.
Yeah. And so it's a thing that, yes, Chris Claremont is kind of doing that very well. He's keeping Kitty a child, and she would, right? Like if her dad got sucked into this world he's not ready for, unbeknownst to him, his daughter is a little ready for it. Like clearly not ready enough because she's being insane, but like she's ready enough that she would follow him to Japan, right? And he has no idea. Like my daughter's a superhero.
The part that I struggle with here a little bit is her not calling the X-Men right away. Her decision to be like, oh, this is personal. This is my, and granted, she hasn't been back in a little while. It's clearly been a few months since she left the mansion, but I still feel like she would be like, hey, can somebody come help me beat up some Japanese crime lords?
Well, and Pat, Storm has a mohawk now. She could call and Storm could be like, oh, I'll join them. I'll join the crime guys. And
she could call, but what if Storm has a mohawk? No, they sorted all that out. They squashed that beef. Matt, why don't I take us into the next issue of this miniseries, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine #2, Terror. Okay. Kitty Pryde's yelp prompts the gangsters to open the door, and all of them, especially her dad, are shocked to see her standing there.
How fucking wild would it be? How fucking wild would you go all the way? You're at the top of a skyscraper in Japan with these like businessmen who you've just met, and you open the door and your daughter is just there.
Yeah, in a foreign country. The boss, Mr. Shigematsu, commands his bodyguards to capture her, but she's an X-Man. She handily topples them all and runs out of the room. Instead of chasing her, Shigematsu has a short conversation with Logun, in which Logun agrees to take care of the girl for the small price of her life. Shigematsu agrees, but Kitty's dad is like, what the fuck? And Logun twists his arm and tells him to consider his daughter dead. She is now Logun's forever, and there's nothing he can do.
I forgot to mention when Kitty, stepping back a second, when Kitty is fighting, this is a more Al Milgrom, me not liking Al Milgrom's art. When Kitty is fighting all the bad guys, the way she knocks down Shigematsu is she just like goes horizontal and poses and seems to horizontally fly sideways into his stomach with her, like her butt hits him. Imagine drawing Kitty Pryde jumping in the air.
Yeah.
And then imagine drawing a man being knocked over and then turning the Kitty Pryde drawing sideways and putting it over top of the man falling over.
I could see how it could work. I think this could happen.
This is physically impossible.
Kitty is rapidly phasing down through each floor of the building, regretting every single thing she's done for the past 24 hours. By the time she reaches the basement, she decided that she has to go to Mariko for help. However, at that moment, she's accosted by a man in a devil mask who breathes some gas into her face, and she collapses.
Oh, shit.
Now, this, Matt, is where I was like, oh, shit, Al Milgrom rules.
Okay.
This rendering of like the Japanese demon mask that he's wearing in his ninja costume is so cool to me.
The demon mask is cool. The demon mask is
fucking
iconic.
Rad.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Logan arrives in Tokyo and, after some hassle with a metal detector, sets off to find Kitty.
Pre 9/11 world.
I'll say, yeah. Very cute little interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty wakes up standing in a dark room all alone and paralyzed. A light switches on and a sword slashes out from the darkness. Systematically, the sword cuts through her clothes and hair and pokes her throat, stopping her from talking. Eventually, she's reduced to feeling as if the killing blow will be a mercy, but it doesn't come. The man in the devil mask instead fills her vision. She feels herself regress in age, and that guy Logun reveals himself. In a strange sequence, she grows from baby to toddler to young woman alongside Logun, who teaches her how to be a ninja and use ninja weapons and stuff.
It's so weird. It's so weird. She's like a little baby in a diaper.
Yeah.
Swinging a sword or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, and then she just like grows up.
It's supposed to simulate the experience of a lifetime of this training, like starting from as a toddler, she was being trained as a ninja, but it's all happening in her head. It's the same way Ileana learned magic. Kitty is learning to be a ninja.
It's just, this is not in a magical realm where time has no meaning. This is all metaphorical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is strange. It's not something we've seen in the comics very often. Is like a sequence physically in front of us that is fully metaphorical.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good choice. It sounds like you're a fan of Al Milgram's choice here, Matt.
I didn't say it was good. I think it's strange. I said it was strange.
She finds her old thoughts fading away as she begins to think only in Japanese and living to improve her skills and impress her new master. The sequence ends when she puts the devil mask on herself. Best Kitty costume yet. Her in the black robe and the devil mask. Fucking sick. Meanwhile, again, Shigematsu enters his Tokyo office to find that the lights don't work. His bodyguards spread out around a mysterious man sitting at the desk. The bodyguards attempt to take the man out, but he disappears. And 2 sets of claws reveal themselves in the dark of the room.
Ooh.
Logan beats some bodyguards' ass in record time and demands Shigematsu give him Kitty Pryde or lose his damn life. This is so cool. Come on. He is sitting in Shigematsu's chair. The back of the chair is facing him and his bodyguards. He's lighting a cigarette with a match as they shoot at him.
Right. And then they see the match falling with it. So, I don't think here's what I'll give you. I don't think Al Milgrom is a bad storyteller, right? I think Al Milgrom does good layouts and directs the comic really well. It's just that his actual artwork, like his final product, his finishing is just really bad. Everything looks ugly and not ugly in a cool, interesting way. Ugly in an ugly way.
I'll give you that. There's also just, to me, nothing cooler than when you turn the lights on and a badass guy is there smoking, ready to kill you.
in your chair with his back to you, and he turns around and he's like...
The call comes through to Ogun's remote compound just as Ogun is finishing up his conditioning of Kitty. A cadre of ninjas at his command attempt to kill her and find themselves quickly disarmed and knocked to the ground. As she's closing in to kill one of them, Ogun stops her. Removing her devil mask, she wants to know if she did her sensei proud, and he, calling her a daughter of the demon, says that she was better than he at her age. Ogun returns to the phone and asks Shigematsu to arrange a meeting with his old friend Wolverine for the next evening.
Old friend?
Right. He then issues Kitty a command. There's an enemy, a gaijin, that must be dealt with. Kitty promises that man is as good as dead. To be continued.
Ah! Sorry, I got scared. I'm scared for Wolverine.
I'm hooked, dude. Right here is where I was like, oh, this rules. I cannot wait to open the next issue.
Yeah, it's very good. It's way better than I remembered it being. I don't even know what to say. I think it's all here on the page, right? Like,
yeah,
there's not even that much subtext to go into. It's just here. It's just right here.
Let's keep rolling then.
Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 3, Death. Wolverine stands on a rooftop along this Tokyo skyline, blasting cigs and monologuing about his relationship to the city.
He drops the classic, I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do best isn't very nice.
Yeah.
Or, as I like to refer to it, ITBTIAWIDBWIDBIVN.
ITBTIAWIDBWIDBIVN.
That's right, Matt. ITBTIAWIDBWIDBIVN.
Otherwise known as ITBTIAWIDBWIDBIVN.
That's right. Everybody starts saying it.
I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. A small feminine figure draped in shadow sneaks up behind him, hopping rooftop to rooftop with the speed and grace of a ninja. She attacks. Wolverine senses it coming and deflects her flying kick, but she turns around quickly and throws 3 familiar metal spines at him before tackling him and forcing a passionate kiss on him.
Oh?
It's Yukio! They bone on the rooftops.
Right there.
Yeah, it just says...
Clearly do.
It's just like later, and they're smoking a cigarette and cuddling. Yeah. They bone on the rooftops, then they get down to... Well, they get down to business, Pat, and then they get down to business.
Yeah. They get down to business both ways.
Logan explains why he's here, and Yukio agrees to help find info on Shigematsu's dealings, while Wolverine figures out how the heck he's going to find Kitty. He starts by contemplating in his favorite rock garden, but someone is waiting for him there. Before he can sense it, a stink bomb launches down on him from the roof.
Oh, no.
He says, "Stink bomb!"
Stink bomb! Get down!
Everybody, I'll handle this.
I'll throw myself on top of it.
The ammonia dulls his sense of smell. A volley of arrows follow, one striking him clean through the thigh. He deflects some shuriken flying towards him and hops off to find a place to recover. On a nearby rooftop, Logan pulls the arrow out of his leg and waits for the healing factor to start doing its work. No time for that now, though, as a black-robed ninja in a red demon helmet emerges from the shadows and stabs him. He parries, pops his claws, and takes a killing stab at the ninja. But what? Did his claws just pass right through? Or no, he must have just missed, right? The surprise throws him off balance long enough for the ninja to kick him off the roof. He scrambles through alleys for a place to regroup when the ninja's poison dart starts to kick in from the stab earlier. He can't fight.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
You get the impression that Wolverine is losing this fight.
Yeah. He can't fight. He needs to go to ground until he can heal. So he dips behind a dumpster and covers himself in trash.
So now, for the rest of this issue, Wolverine stinks.
Yeah, and it's possible. We don't know if Kitty's showered. So a person who smells like piss and shit is fighting a person who smells like trash.
Well, Kitty's changed her clothes, at least. She's wearing the ninja robe.
She's just got piss and shit in her hair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yukio is deftly broken into Shigematsu's office. She discovers Kitty's father, Carmen, drunk and asleep, and then beats the ever-loving shit out of Shumai. That's the sumo guy from earlier. She tosses him out of a 60-story window, but takes mercy on him. After pumping him for information about Kitty, she pulls him back up.
Oh.
At this moment, though, Carmen wakes up and demands to know what's going on, giving Shumai the chance to toss Yukio out the window. He throws Carmen out, too, just out of annoyance. Also, it's kind of cool. Shumai already knows Yukio's name. Like, she's clearly such a well-known figure.
She's got a reputation. Yeah.
Carmen screams, but Yukio's having a great time. She grabs his hand, grabs hold of a window cleaner's rig hanging from the side of the building, and swings them both back in through a window several floors below. She gives a similar, savor this experience. You'll never have another thing like it.
I love Yukio so much. She... So Wolverine tells her he's got to help Kitty Pryde because she got caught robbing a bank, and she says, "Bravo, there's hope for the child yet." In this moment, Carmen is screaming because he's plummeting from a 60-story window, and she says, "Oh, hush, silly man. Savor the experience while it lasts. You'll probably never have another like it." Which is absolutely true. If you know that you're not going to die, what a thrill that would be.
Yeah.
And then finally, they land a few floors below, and she looks up at where Shumai would be and calls him a mountain of sweat. So good.
I think there might be some. I might disagree with one of your interpretations of what Yukio is saying a little bit, because I don't think it's if you know that you're not going to die. I think for Yukio it is if you are plummeting to your death, hey man, you only plummet to your death once. Like, I think that is her sort of attitude on it.
I know that she doesn't necessarily care if she dies because she's having fun, but at the same time, at the point she's saying it, she knows what her next step is to keep them from dying.
I agree that she knows they're not going to die here, but I think the point she's making is the same that she's made to everybody that she's met, right? Which is, hey, if we're about to die, fucking enjoy it, man. You only like plummet to your death. You only get stabbed in the face, like whatever it is she's facing. You only do it once, and I think it would be so fucking funny if Kitty's dad got a mohawk. Like when Kitty saw her dad next, he had a mohawk and he's wearing a leather jacket. It's just like
Storm. It's just everybody that Yukio spends time with starts to
Kitty's like,
feel her influence.
Stop hanging out with Yukio, everybody. I hate this lady.
Please stop turning my friend and family into scary punks.
Okay, so across town we see the demon skulled ninja identify Wolverine's pile of trash and shove a sword through it. Ah, fuck.
He's dead.
But he's not there. Surprise, sucker, he got better. Does he? Hold on.
His words.
He says, surprise, sucker, I got better.
Surprise, sucker, I got better.
Surprise, sucker, I got better. Now it's my turn. Logan watches and follows the ninja to a nearby train yard, and the two engage in a colorful, action-packed 6 pages of pursuit and combat. One problem, though. Wolverine's got his sense of smell back, and while he refuses to believe it, he knows who's behind the mask.
Oof.
When the ninja finally tires, he removes her mask and is forced to face the truth. This is Kitty. The momentary shock of this is all she needs as she plunges her sword straight through Wolverine's heart, just as Yukio and Carmen find them. To be continued!
Oh,
Wolverine's
here's a question,
dead.
Matt.
Yeah.
How do you get a sword straight through Wolverine's heart?
Very carefully. No, I think you'd have to aim between your...
Maybe if her sword is like sideways
slightly
so
upwards,
that it can fit between the slits of his ribs.
Yeah, because you couldn't go through his breastbone.
Right. It's covered in adamantium.
You could slide through his ribs, but that you'd have to kind of go in through the side to do that. So you could go from below upward.
But then it wouldn't be able to come through the back because it's still...
Well, you just avoid the spine.
Yeah, but there's still like, you've got ribs in your back.
All right.
This goes through his chest.
Skeleton. Let's look at a
We can chalk it up to
skeleton.
A artistic license, but
yeah,
there's no way she didn't cut through adamantium there.
It must, yeah, it must slide through her back. What do we call those, back ribs?
Yeah, the back ribs.
Must slide through her back ribs.
The baby back ribs.
It's rough, man. Oh, okay.
All right. So, remembering that Logan is covered in trash and stink bomb.
He's got stink bomb on him, too.
We can move on to Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 4, Rebirth.
Ooh.
Thank God.
Oh, so I guess number 5 is going to be Afterbirth then?
Ew.
What? I'm just trying to say.
Now I don't want to read that one. All right. Yukio's red convertible spins around the sharp turns of a twisted mountainside through the heavy rain. According to Carmen Pryde, yelling from the back seat, they've been driving for hours with his daughter tied up in the passenger seat and a dying Logan next to him in the back. He's just complaining the whole time. He's whining at the top of his lungs.
I know.
Why is this man dying next to me? Why is my daughter tied up in the front seat?
Where are we? You're driving too fast. We've been driving for so long. You're crazy. It really is. It's really, yeah.
So when Yukio screeches to a halt and gets out to beat him up, Kitty makes a run for it. But still groggy from the drugs that Yukio poisoned her with back at the rail yards, she quickly gets knocked back out again.
This fight is interesting because it shows two fights happening at once. It's flashing back to after Kitty stabs Wolverine, Yukio attacks her and drugs her, right? But also in the present, Yukio is fighting this drugged Kitty on the mountainside. So right. each panel is bouncing back and forth. But we got...
It'd be like cross-cutting in a film.
We got Chris Claremont fucking doing the updraft thing again.
Yes.
Yukio leaps off a cliff knowing that the updraft is going to push her back onto the cliff. And then she can kick Kitty in the back.
Very good.
Yeah.
Creative use of the natural updraft.
He loves these updrafts, man.
Yukio is concerned that Ogun's ninja magic is going to prove too strong and that Kitty could be lost to them forever, but still takes the gang to the Ishida stronghold to recover. By the time we get there, Wolverine is up and about. Now, what's really interesting here is the first two issues are narrated by Kitty. It's a Kitty POV. It's the first time we get that, which I think is cool. Mm-hmm. Third issue is narrated by Wolverine. Fourth issue, also narrated by Wolverine. So they just don't narrate anything while he's unconscious.
Yeah.
There is just no narration here until he comes to, and then it kicks in. Very cool touch.
Yeah, very cool.
By the time Kitty wakes up, her regular personality has emerged once more. She's relieved to see Wolverine by her side until she remembers what she did to him under Ogun's influence. Ooh, sorry.
Oh, God. Did I stab you in the heart? Damn it.
She tells Logan about
I'm
all that
doing
happened.
That to people. Such an idiot.
Since she left Chicago. And Logan tells her about Ogun. Oh, Logan and Ogun. Now I get it.
Oh.
Ogun used to be his sensei, and what's more, he may be an immortal Ronin, as evidenced by an old story that goes like this.
Okay.
Matt, you want to take us through this fucking awesome story?
All right. I'm just going to read it exactly as Claremont wrote it. There's a story people tell of the greatest swordsman in Japanese history, Miyamoto Musashi, of how one fine morning in those younger days when he still wore steel instead of wooden swords, he came to a bridge, only to find his path blocked by another samurai. The way, honored sir, is wide enough only for one. Why are people always doing this in old fucking stories about bridges? Robin Hood did this too.
Yeah, just take turns.
Yeah. Or there's no bridge that is only wide. You could just scooch past.
Bridges are for everyone.
What if in this story it was instead, and the noble samurai Miyamoto Musashi said, "Ooh, let me just scooch by you real quick." Or if Robin Hood said that to Little John, "Ooh, let me just scooch."
Excuse me, I'm just
gotta scooch by you. The way, honored sir, is only wide enough for one. It is only fitting that the lesser man step aside to let the better one pass. Agreed, my friend, says the other man. If you'd be so kind as to do so, I shall be on my way.
You got him.
Miyamoto says, it appears we have a difference of opinion, to which the other man says that only our blades can settle. The other man is Ogun. And Ogun throws down the gauntlet, and as one with blinding speed, two gleaming katanas leap from their lacquered scabbards. For 1 minute, the men stood poised, their eyes locked. And then they sheathed their steel, bowed, and went their separate ways, never to cross paths again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Logan explains here that both men recognized each other as equals.
they sized each other up in that minute. Like in that minute, they were looking at the way each other was standing, the way they were holding each other, the swords, the look in their eyes, and realizing
their general resolve.
We would be doing basically the whole fight in their head and being like, oh, it's a draw.
Yeah, no one would win here.
Remember that episode of Pete and Pete where they all got calculators, and instead of actually playing tag, they just sat in the yard
and calculated a game of tag.
Calculated who would win. And so one kid would be like, oh, my game. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then they came back to their calculators.
Logan, still injured, needs rest, but he's concerned that every moment since Kitty's brainwashing is a moment that Ogun's influence becomes stronger. So, against Yukio's advice and his own good sense, he starts training Kitty himself immediately. They're not sure if it's ninja magic or psychic powers, but Ogun can apparently create a psychic clone of himself inside others' heads that slowly takes over their entire personality. They can't rely on Professor X because unless Kitty beats Ogun herself, he'll just keep coming back. Over the next few days, Logan puts Kitty through all kinds of extreme conditioning and training. Holding the Ishida honor sword at arm's length, swimming a freezing cold river, running through a blizzard. It's very evocative of Rocky IV.
Okay.
But Rocky IV doesn't come out until November 85.
Maybe Claremont got an early draft.
Yeah, maybe this is where they got that.
Maybe
you could also
they
argue
got
that,
it from this.
You could also argue that it's evocative of Rocky III, but
or that both of
they
them
don't run through the snow in that one,
or that both of them have taken this from a trope that's existed for a really long time. But
sure. Also, the reason they're in a blizzard is because
this is so weird.
Thor has turned the whole world to winter.
I don't know, man, but we'll see this in all the comics we read for the next few episodes.
And it doesn't change anything. It's just somebody is clearly like, can you make sure this takes place in the middle of a blizzard, please?
And everybody mentions it. Everybody's like,
yeah.
Oh, this is because of that thing I heard about with Thor, huh?
Oh, this is because Thor made everything winter forever.
Thor made. Can you imagine living in a world where you had to do that?
Yeah.
Like our podcast had to start with,
I guess I'm shoveling snow tomorrow.
Our podcast would start with shit like that, where we'd be like, hey, everybody, hope you're doing well, getting through, Thor's winter.
Yeah. Have you done anything X-Men related this week? Sort of. A demon lord set my block on fire.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's our first episode since the whole Galactus thing. I hope none of your houses got crushed by his big feet. There's a scene here where, Kitty's holding the sword out at arm's length and she's like, how many hours was that? And he's like, it's been 5 minutes. You wouldn't know.
Come
on.
Not that extreme.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that. This makes when her dad was like, we've been driving for hours. That passes down on that to the Prydes.
Genetic.
The Prydes just don't know what 5 minutes is.
In the midst of all this training, Logan learns about the death of Guardian and a recent tragedy that we'll eventually read about in X-Men.
Spoilers!
For anybody, except for me, I guess.
That spoiled you. I'm sorry.
It's also, he gets the news from Professor X. Professor X calls and Logan's like, hey, Charlie, I figured you'd figure out where we were. Please mind your own business.
Bye.
We'll be back. Eventually, Kitty's training takes a leap forward when she finally decides to do it for herself and not for Logan.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's like it's the Wolverine style of Zen, right? Where she says, "I was making such an effort to hold the sword. What if I just do it?" And then she does it.
Right.
There is something there that I find really interesting, and I think about this all the time when it comes to, not to get this way about shit, but when it comes to mental health, because, you can do all the things in the world, right? Like you can eat right and get your mental health medicine and you can go to therapy, you can read a self-help book, you can do everything that people say, and at the end, you're still going to be mentally ill, right?
Right.
The only way through any psychological problem is to simply just do it.
Yeah.
And you can use all these things to help. But your last step is like, oh, if I'm depressed because I'm not making my life better, or I'm waking up every day feeling sorry for myself, your last step, and again, I'm not putting down all these other methods. I think these are steps that help your journey. But your last step legitimately always has to be, okay, I'm just going to feel better. I'm just going to do the thing I can't do. I'm just going to not feel sorry for myself today. I'm just going to not hate myself. Like,
it's the same.
You can't do anything unless you do it.
Yes. It's the same concept, keeping them from just going back to the X-Men, right? And having Xavier fix this psychic imprint is Wolverine's like, hey, yeah, you could do that. He would come back, but then that's Charles Xavier handling your problems for you. If you want me to help you with this, then you're going to fix your problems for you. And it doesn't take away all the training that she has to do to get to a point where she can face her problems, but she goes through that training. Wolverine gives her the therapy and
the medicine.
He just runs her around in the snow, but
leaves her there when she falls because she twisted her ankle. And he just walks back by himself. But I mean, in our world, we don't have a Professor Xavier, right? Like, but I think there's a real strong tendency people have, especially with the, and I think therapy's good. I'm between therapists right now, but I generally go to therapy. I believe in therapy. I support the concept of therapy, but I think
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com if you have a therapist rec for Matt.
But I think we lionize therapy in this way that people think of it as like this cure-all. It's not. It's a tool. It's a tool that you can use to, at the end, exactly like Kitty says, simply just do it. And I think that's, I don't know, I think that's kind of powerful.
Yeah. But with no explanation, that night she leaves the honor sword by Logan's side as he sleeps and takes herself to the Tokyo airport to give up and return home to the X-Men. But at the last moment, she changes her mind. Instead of running, she must face Logun herself.
No.
To be continued.
She'll die!
A couple quick things about this ending. Number one, she takes the sword out of its sheath and then leaves it by... It's very rude not to return the sword in its sheath.
Yeah.
Just leave it lying out on the floor. That's dangerous.
Okay. Well,
what if he wakes up to pee and steps on it?
Obviously, what they're doing here is trying to make us think she might kill Wolverine. Right? Yeah, to give us that second of doubt. But I think maybe he's also trying to say, like, she is pushing herself right up to the I'm going to kill Wolverine edge. Just to prove to herself she's not going to kill Wolverine.
Yeah, that's fair. In that vein, I actually had a different read on this ending at the airport than what I just read.
Oh, interesting.
Whatever I just said, understand that I disagree with that. I think it's supposed to be a misdirect where, like, we hear the speaker say direct to New York, and then we hear the speaker, like, 2 panels later say direct to Tokyo, ready to board. And in that whole time, she's saying, like, I should just go back to the X-Men. I've lost this fight. There's no way I'm going to beat Logun. I should just go home. But I'm actually getting on this plane to Tokyo.
Okay.
Like, it's her saying, I know this isn't the right choice to make, but it's the only choice I can make. And all along, she was headed for Tokyo.
That would have been cool.
It was cool.
But she says, this time tomorrow I'll be with the X-Men. And she looks down at a ticket in her hand that says USA on it.
Well, agree to disagree, Matt. You want to take this?
Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 5, Afterbirth. Oh, sorry, Courage. In Tokyo, Shikamatsu freaks the fuck out when a black masked ninja phases up through his desk and attacks.
he goes, ah, ghost!
The ninja tackles him, grabs him by the throat, and lets him know he'll be returning control of the bank back to Carmen Pryde. If he ever comes near the Pryde family again, she'll be back. The ninja phases through the wall and airwalks down to the ground. And if you haven't figured out by now, reveals herself to be Kitty Pryde.
There's a funny moment where a police helicopter spots her as she's airwalking down to the ground, and they don't know what to think. One of the pilots goes, but it's still in the brackets. So that you know that it's translated from Japanese.
She says that she's a mutant because of her wild genes. She says, I have more of those than the normal person. So this is Claremont kind of saying, not that there is a singular gene called like whatever is the X gene or whatever it's called in the future.
Yeah.
It is that there is something within mutants that causes them to have so many mutations, so many genetic mutations at once that they have powers.
Interesting. So it's not the idea of just like part of your genetics being replaced with mutant genetics. It's the idea that you have an extra group of genetics.
Well, or yeah, rather than just like one locus on your DNA is flipped or something, it is that all over it there's mutations. It's like the way that we are a combination of our mother and father's DNA, and then on top of that there are random mutations that happen with most offspring, right? She's saying the thing that sets mutants apart are that she has a ton of mutations that happened.
Oh.
She dons a new outfit and some eyeshadow. I hate the eyeshadow, by the way. I like the outfit. Hate the eyeshadow.
Outfit's fine. The eyeshadow is weird because it is extremely heavy. It's like a panda bear.
Yeah, it is panda bear. She does it all the way around her eyes in a big circle.
Strange. It's a strange choice.
She catches so she does the eyeshadow, hops on the subway. She catches a glimpse of herself in the train window and starts retracing her choices. Why did she come to Japan? Hell, why'd she even join the X-Men?
Yeah, she's spiraling a little bit.
But she never would have had a normal life. The real problem is that she doesn't feel like Kitty anymore. She's faced some harsh realities on this trip and grown from it. A kitten is a child. She's a cat. SHADOWCAT!
Whoa!
New name!
SHADOWCAT is here.
SHADOWCAT. I think it's so funny that we've seen so many adult versions of Kitty Pryde now. We've seen like 3. And all of them feel like they have to reckon with the nickname that they have as a kid and be like, I'm not a kitty anymore. I'm a cat now. All of them do it.
They're also up into her 30s. She's constantly being like, I guess I have to move on from being a child. Yeah.
There's also some funny things here when she's airwalking. She at some point loses concentration and falls from the sky.
Oh, right.
And the way Al Milgrom draws her regaining her concentration is like she skids to a halt in midair like a Looney Tune. It's like,
and she's thinking so hard about it. He's drawing her like straining every facial muscle.
Yes, it is like Wile E. Coyote running off the cliff and then skidding to a halt in midair and trying to tiptoe back before he looks down. Oh, and the other thing that I noticed is that Chris Claremont is like, because now that Kitty's got short hair, she's like,
right.
Cutting my hair wasn't my decision. I tried a wig the other week and I hated it. Or I tried a wig that made my hair this length, and I hated it. It's just because in X-Men 183, John Romita drew her with short hair. And Claremont's like, we gotta explain this.
Oh my God.
You fucking dork. You did not have to do that. Okay, so back to the story. Across town, Mariko Yoshida arrives home at her 60th floor penthouse, greeted by Kiko. The child that Wolverine rescued and agreed to raise as his own.
Remember her?
Yeah, I do.
Now her name is Akiko, but casually she goes by Kiko.
Kiko. Yeah. Cute.
She's a cute kid.
They're just kicking it. When Mariko swears she heard a noise, she checks a few dark rooms, but there doesn't appear to be anyone there. There is like the outline of a person.
Yeah. It's a neat, creepy sequence.
Up in the air, Logan, Carmen, and Yukio take a private jet to Tokyo. Wolverine lays it on Carmen thick. He may have had good intentions, but he's devolved into a life of crime, and now his daughter's life and soul are in danger as a direct result.
He's laying the guilt on here. He's like, you need to feel like a bad person right now.
Right. And he's like, my daughter is. He's like, too bad, man. You fucking did this.
Yeah.
He needs to find a way to accept responsibility and face consequences because Kitty will either die by Ogun's hand or become his apprentice and die at Wolverine's.
Ooh.
In Japanese, Logan reflects on how important of a mentor Ogun was to him, like a father, a brother, a best friend, but now one of them. Wolverine and Ogun, not a father, a brother, and a...
Yeah.
One of the two, they must die. They must die. One of them must die, Wolverine or Ogun. Are you guys getting this at home? It's either Wolverine or Ogun that's got to die. Okay, let's back up.
Which one of them?
Either Wolverine or and Ogun is like a father, a brother, and a best friend. It's not like just one of those things has to die. It's either Wolverine or Ogun has to die.
He's gonna kill his father.
No, Pat. All right, let's back up. All right, back in Mariko's apartment, Ogun shows up. We just came from Mariko's apartment. What if I really did back up and start explaining the story over again?
Wait, we were just up in the air.
Ogun shows up in Mariko's apartment in his demon ninja costume and brings his sword down on a sleeping Mariko, but the blade goes right through her? That's right, it's Kitty in a wig.
Oh, she likes wigs now.
We get another 4 pages of colorful ninja. And why did Mariko have a Mariko wig in her house? Anyway, we get another 4 pages of colorful ninja combat where Kitty finds herself trying to go for the kill, but not coming close. She's overcome Ogun's psychic imprint, but that means she's also lost all the skills he gave her. So what was the point of this whole story? Anyway, she only has a few weeks of Wolverine's training to rely on, and her X-Men training. Ogun toys with her, explaining his plan to draw Wolverine here, and I have a plan to draw Wolverine. What do you think of my number 4 pencil?
Oh, I have a plan to draw Wolverine here.
He's going to draw Wolverine here and kill him. And he compliments her skills while evading her entirely. Suddenly, a scream rings out. Ogun must have found Mariko. Kitty phases into the room she and Kiko are hiding in, only to find that they're perfectly fine. Uh-oh. She realizes it was a trap too late as Ogun... Ogun comes crashing through a window. She's like, oh, I fell for the oldest trick in the book. He mimicked her voice. So Ogun was just in a room going, I'm Mariko, no! Kitty phases them through to the floor below and tells them to run, leaving her once again face to face with Ogun. He offers her eternal life. All she has to do is join him, but she refuses. He tackles her through the window and onto a window washing cart outside and starts beating her, but she still refuses. He manipulates her up onto the roof as they spar, the spot where he plans to kill Wolverine, and shows her how outmatched she is. He stops toying with her, knocks her to his knees, and starts to use the full power of his sorcery, forcing his way into her mind, but still, she refuses.
This is another cool, like, panel by panel, the demon mask is getting closer and also getting a little more, like, contorted in a way where you think it's just like for dramatic effect until the final panel when
it shatters.
It's fully like shattered and enveloping the whole panel. It's wild.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that is purely symbolic. The mask doesn't actually shatter, but we see it shatter. So, shocked and impressed by her will, Logun accepts that he can't control her and instead raises his sword to kill her. But before he can bring the blade down, "I wouldn't do that, bub, if I were you," rings out. Wolverine's Sigan mouth meets Logun's eyes, and the two get ready for the inevitable. Okay. Wolverine here is standing in such a way that both the backs of his hands are facing forward. They're down by his sides and facing forward. It is like when a child draws a superhero. It is really, really bad. But the moment is still effective.
Yeah. He smokes so many cigarettes in this run, and every time it's cool as hell. He's not like, you know how there are social smokers? He's doing this to like just at the cool opportunities.
Yeah.
If it makes sense to be cool smoking a cigarette, he'll have a cigarette.
And a cool thing Al Milgrom does do is he has the smoke is just pure white, and it like intersects with the gutters between the panels. So where the smoke hits the side of the panels, there's no line. It's just it's like Wolverine smoking the gutters of the panels. When Logun tries to stab Mariko and it turns out to be Kitty, she yells, "Surprise, sucker!"
She picked that up from Wolverine's training.
Wolverine. Yeah, she's still the Kitty we know, right? Like she's still. He was like, and then you're one of your surprise sucker.
There's a patter course in his 4 weeks of training.
And he's like, "Surprise." And she's like, "Surprise." No. You got to surprise. Yes, exactly. Surprise sucker. Surprise sucker.
Surprise, suck her.
No. All right, you want to bring this baby home?
Yeah, let's take it home with the concluding Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 6, Honor.
Oh.
Now that we're at the last one, can I say one thing that I do really appreciate here is every issue ends by saying up next, and then the actual name of the comic that comes up next. So many cases when they're like, up next, Deathbird, and then we get to the comic and it's actually like Air, Behold the Master. This is actually saying like, up next, Honor. And then the next issue is titled Honor.
Wild.
A rare sight in comics. Logun pops off his mask and stares Wolverine down across the rooftop. He recalls the story of Miyamoto Musashi as they size each other up, but instead of walking away, they charge. Notably, Logun is the one that runs forward. He's the one that says, "We are not equals. I am the better man."
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Also, the first panel is the last of this issue is the exact same moment as the
same line and everything.
Yeah, and it's still Wolverine standing there with both of the backs of his hands facing forward, but he's lit by the moon, so he's in shadow. What Al Milgrom does here that's stupid is the wings on Wolverine's boots. You know how Wolverine has like 2 wings on either side of his boot?
Yeah.
Like that come up. They are like they're like the size of his entire chest. They are huge.
Looks like 2 big spikes coming out of his leg.
He would be walking like a little kid in rain boots. If like this were like when a little kid wears big rain boots that are too big for them.
Logun seems to have the better of Logan in the fight. So Logan turns and runs to draw the demon away from SHADOWCAT and give himself time to think. Mariko and Akiko flee the building just as Yukio and Kitty's dad pull up in her hot rod. Seconds later, the car explodes as the sumo guy from a few issues ago steps forward.
Shumai.
He blew it up with a rocket.
Okay.
Anyway, he's here to kill Mariko and Carmen Pryde, but Yukio stands in his way.
Shumai.
Hell yes.
Yeah. And
I'm so glad we're getting a rematch after he screwed her on the throwing her out the window thing.
Yeah. Were you going to say screwed her on the roof and then realized that she did get screwed on the roof at another point of the series?
Yes.
I couldn't say it.
That was someone else. SHADOWCAT watches all of this from the roof and decides to test Ogun's poison. She seems to have gotten her phasing powers back, so she leaps off the roof and comes to a stop in the middle of the sumo guy's body. Oh, yeah, I don't think you mentioned that last issue, but she's also poisoned.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was my fault. That was my fault. I should have I should have mentioned it when I was off the cuff recapping the what happened last issue.
This shocks him enough to give Yukio the upper hand, and she lays the dude flat in the snow. SHADOWCAT airwalks off to confront Ogun.
Sounds like we're talking about a dance that she does.
There's another great moment here. SHADOWCAT, as she's phasing through him, she's like, "Hi, Yukio," and Yukio's like, "Hey, Kitty," and then they just go on about their business.
She says, "Bye, Yukio."
Yeah. Ogun, meanwhile, is fighting with Wolverine in a pachinko arcade, and he's got him on the ropes. Wolverine continues to flee, hiding out in an elevator until Ogun cuts the cable. Wolverine hits the emergency brakes and cuts his way out into the elevator shaft and climbs his way to the roof. There's a stupid moment here where Wolverine is like, maybe Ogun teleported to the bottom of the elevator shaft and now the elevator fell on him. Heh. He laughs at his own joke, and it's not a joke.
Man, it'd be so fun. Like if they had him, so then he climbs up to the roof. It'd be so funny if he was just like still chuckling when he got to the roof, like when you when you're tickled by one of your own jokes. He's like, Ogun's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "Sorry, I was just thinking of something from earlier." Also, Ogun has a gun for a little while here, which is ridiculous.
It doesn't do anything. It's just to extend the action sequence a little, and
it doesn't look threatening. Like it's not, it's like
a cartoon gun. It looks like a Roger Rabbit gun.
Yeah, it's so big. It's like bigger than his head. I mean, this is just Al Milgrom again, but still, like it's just like, it's ridiculous. Anyway.
Meanwhile, Kitty's dad thinks long and hard about responsibility and honor and decides to turn himself into the police.
All right.
Good for him.
Good.
He does mention, like, you know what? I'm not scared of going to prison anymore. You're not scared of going to prison after double crossing the Yakuza?
He's dumb. You have to remember, Pat. They have set him up to be the dumbest man.
Back on the roof, Kitty has just arrived, only for her phasing to give out again just before she reaches it. A hand pulls her onto the roof, and it turns out to be Ogun.
Hold on, I have to say something else about Kitty's dad that I've been holding in this whole time. Okay. His hair is just fucking scribbles like a Charlie Brown character.
It is. It's very... If you remember the first season of The Office where Steve Carell is like slicking all his hair back, and like you could see all the thinning up front.
But imagine drawing that. Imagine Charles Schultz drawing that.
Yeah,
because it's just scribbles. It is just a pen going back and forth scribbling. That's his hair. All right, sorry.
He's wearing a ridiculous sweater for most of it. Once Thor's Winter kicks in, he puts on
a Charlie Brown, again, Charles Schultz. He puts on a Charlie Brown sweater, but just different colors. It's like green and yellow. Yeah.
And it's obnoxious.
This guy sucks.
So Kitty meets Ogun on the roof. He tosses her across the roof where Wolverine has just appeared. Kitty is exhausted and scared. Logan is sure he can't beat Ogun. Nevertheless, he charges his former sensei and drops into his berserker rage.
This is a Wolverine thing that I always find is stupid. Like it has its purposes, right? You need to find that bit of strength in, like, it's that thing that Spider-Man does where he's like, I have to think about all my friends and family, and deep within I find the strength to do the thing I couldn't do a minute ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And also it gives us the chance to have like Wolverine prove that he's not like he still has this animalistic side of him, but
yeah, it gives you
he can control it.
Danger, but without it being ever present.
But what I hate about it is when comic book writers, and Claremont does this even just now, treat it like a feat in D&D. I turned on my berserker rage. It leaves me it just subtracts 3 points from my defense, but it increases my attack by 5.
And also, we know, or I guess we deduced at one point, this is actually a remnant of Claremont's original idea that what happened to Jean in Dark Phoenix could happen to any mutant, that any mutant has this potential to go like next level, lose their mind, and be unstoppable.
This is our theory. This has been my theory for a very long time because of the Storm story. When Storm was trapped in Dr. Doom's house.
Yeah. But it happens to Colossus.
Right, it happens to Colossus that one time where he's like, I'm super Colossus.
So it's like, we haven't seen it in years, but this is like that, we're just making it a little more silly. This is actually a dead idea coming back to life.
Yeah.
But it does the trick. Logan finally beats Agghhh, holding him defenseless against a girder for Kitty to end him. She grabs Ogun's sword and slashes down on his head, but stops short. She can't kill him. Her mercy is what convinced Logan that Kitty's broken Ogun's brainwashing.
God, so like if she had done it, he would have just killed her right there.
Yeah, he would have been like, all right, you're not Kitty anymore.
Yeah. Fucking wild.
What if he mistook her turn into Shadowcat? What if she was like, don't call me Kitty anymore, call me Shadowcat? And he was like, that's fucking Ogun's influence. Here we go. The two turn to leave, turning their backs on Agghh, but he refuses to be beaten. He grabs his broken sword and charges them from behind. Wolverine turns and yells to Kitty to phase. He goes, Pride, phase! It's so cool.
It is cool. It rules.
Through her body, the sword enters Logan's chest, but his claws enter Ogun's. Agghh falls over dead. Logan's chest is fine, but his heart is broken.
Aww.
He didn't want his former sensei, whom he loved, to die. He looks at the demon mask and wonders if he, Logan, is truly a monster himself. But Kitty assures him that when he let his berserker rage out, he controlled it in the end and left Agghh alive. He's a man.
Again,
he's a real man.
Every Wolverine miniseries has to end with him making the same exact realization.
He also, the action plays out where Kitty phases, Agghh slashes his sword, it hits Wolverine's chest, Wolverine stabs his claws through Agghh, and then as Agghh falls to the ground, Logan says, he forgot about my bones.
Oh man, everyone's always forgetting about each other's bones.
Wolverine crushes the demon mask into powder, like in his hands.
Yeah.
They must have been there for a long time with him just grinding the whole thing into a fine dust. And they walk away from the corpse of Agghh. Next, we see everyone. They're seeing Carmen Pryde walk out of the U.S. Embassy, having just revealed everything about his criminal dealings to the authorities.
Oh.
He's probably going to jail, but so may also Shigematsu be. And his conscience is clear. Kitty is once again proud of her dad. Yukio, upset to see Logan with Mariko and Akiko, takes off. But the rest of the gang head to an ice cream shop and eat a big sundae. The end.
Oh boy. That is how this ends. It ends with Kitty Pryde eating a big okay.
It ends on a shot of Kitty Pryde looking directly into the camera and smiling as she eats a multicolored ice cream sundae.
And Akiko is like head in hands, like, wow, she's gonna eat all that. Now,
I can't believe she won't share that with me.
I think the point here is like Kitty is still Kitty, and I think that is what makes that moment effective.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop it from being kind of silly.
She's definitely grown up.
Mm-hmm.
But
well,
there's it's not like your childhood just leaves you when you take that next step.
I think there's something weird about this. Like, why did Claremont decide now is the time for Kitty to become a ninja? Like a ninja assassin lady. Like, what was it about? Like, I get sometimes when characters, like, I get that Ileana, he wanted a cool magical character, and he had this idea, I'll take somebody that is beloved by one of my other characters and put them through this gauntlet, and then that can fulfill my idea for another cool mutant character. That'll help me reveal Ileana's mutant power and also make her old enough that she can join like a team, because he liked her name or something.
Yeah.
But what was the purpose of doing this with SHADOWCAT? Like, what's the function here?
I mean, I don't know what the future holds for us right now, but it sounds like we're ending the podcast. I don't know what's going to happen the next time Kitty
We will never
appears.
end this podcast.
But I can only imagine that, like, yeah, this is a next step for her.
Okay. Why did it have to involve her becoming a ninja, though? And then why take those?
Well,
and then further, why take those ninja powers away?
So that she can go through the Wolverine quick ninja course. And like now she's not an unbeatable ninja assassin, but she's got those fighting skills. And like, if she wants to go out on her own, she doesn't necessarily need somebody next to her to fight. It's very Danny Moonstar, right? She has a power that's not necessarily offensive, but she can also kick fucking ass.
Yeah.
It would be cool if she was a full ninja assassin and still wearing that demon mask, though.
Like that was her new superhero costume, is always wearing the demon mask. Yeah.
Yes, but also phasing through walls is like, that's a pretty incredible power for an assassin to have, right?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you go into the assassin business?
And I think they show that here. Like, she's in the middle of a fight and phases through like a sword or whatever. Like, I think that's yeah. And she breaks into 2 banks.
2 banks, 3 if you consider Shigematsu's office, since he owns banks.
Yeah, you're right. I want a big ice cream sundae now.
I know.
What do you think is the green ice cream with the red topping?
So initially I was saying like, oh, that's just mint ice cream, but they're in Japan. Very possibly matcha ice cream or green tea ice cream. Yeah.
Oh, matcha ice cream with like a sweet cinnamon topping.
I'm not crazy about matcha, but I do like green tea ice cream.
Oh, green tea ice cream with a sweet cinnamon topping.
Yeah.
Why don't they have that? Why don't we have like a sweet, sugary, like cinnamon topping?
Why don't we have that in front of us right now?
And then what do you think the blue ice cream with the white goop is?
Sherbet.
Just like blueberry sherbet, blue raspberry sherbet.
Yeah. It's that when I look at that, I say, oh, that's like really tangy.
Putting sherbet in an ice cream sundae is bad. But what's the white stuff on top of it?
Whipped cream.
Spit up. She ate too much ice cream and spit up.
And then just went right back to it. Boot and rally.
How do you feel about this arc, Pat?
This fucking ruled.
Yeah,
I loved the story itself, the way that it played out. I thought it was like the perfect length. I Um,
and it moved.
Yeah, and I really loved the art. I know that you are hot and cold on it. There are a few places where you agree it's very good, but
Oh, did I?
I think the full thing, especially the action, like just the mid-combat scenes or like the pursuit through the rail yard, I just thought that stuff was very cool.
Again, I think I think Al Milgrom has a sense of pacing and framing. It's just I think he's bad at drawing characters. I think he's I think he's kind of just like sloppy, and his stuff is a little ugly, a little amateurish, a little
Yeah, I agree with sloppy and ugly,
and like a little thoughtless.
I agree. That's my name for you, by the way.
Hey,
I agree with you, sloppy and ugly.
Got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's
Matt's. Okay, everybody, welcome to Matt Steals
What
and Steals.
is happening?
Here's the thing, Pat. Look, we have to be honest. When you were spending your vast fortune on every X-Men comic and you were putting together your X-Men comics, you couldn't find the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries.
Right. I searched up and down.
Yeah. You ended up having to. Well, I do have the original comics, is the thing, and you ended up having
found them.
Well, you had to.
You bought every copy, so
yes.
So specifically, so I wouldn't be able to find it.
He's reacting this way because this is what he said to me, or like he's reenacting what he said to me earlier. The way he read these comics is by FaceTiming me, and I turned the pages for him. I also did the voices. So this week we're doing Matt Steals and Deals, and have I got a deal for you, Patrick?
Oh, I mean, I'll buy anything.
This deal is a steal at only $2. It is a scary, giant-size alien eye creature.
Oh my goodness,
Pat. Here's the thing about it. It's 7 feet tall and it obeys your commands.
It obeys my commands. Now, hang on a second.
Yeah, what's wrong?
In what way does it obey my commands? It
obeys your commands for only $2.
So I can say, like, attack my neighbor.
7 feet tall.
This giant floating eye, which
7 feet tall. It obeys your commands.
We get a photograph of this thing. It looks pretty cool.
I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like I think it's like an eyeball balloon with like streamers hanging off of it.
It must. Hang on. Read through this copy because
this thing from another world acts as though it were alive. Imagine how scared and amazed your friends will be when they see this thriller chiller floating down towards them with its tentacles reaching out. Rises, jumps, darts, floats in the air. Make it obey your commands from as far as 50 feet away. Made of durable polyethylene, satisfaction guaranteed, or money refunded. What the fuck is this thing?
Now, hang on. Okay, so it seems like the commands you can give it are rise, jump, dart, float in air. But how? So the thing that's baffling me here is the extremely grainy photograph, black and white photograph we get, suggests that this thing is flying in the air. That it's like a big eyeball, 7 feet in the air with a bunch of tentacles hanging down.
Yeah.
But I know that they did not have the technology to make this thing fly. So my best guess, here's purely speculation, but seems like there's maybe an extending pole that you can remote control that it sits on.
Wait,
almost like a mic stand.
Here's the thing. I assumed this is a balloon with stuff hanging off of it, but you would need helium for it to float like this. And then like it obeys your commands, being you have a string, right? But you would need helium. You would need helium for it to float like this.
Yeah, maybe you buy it flat and you have to take it to your local balloon shop.
Oh, your balloon man.
It is made of polyethylene, so it is like if you put helium in there, it'll stay in there.
So, $2. Would you buy this thing?
Yeah, hell yeah. $2, dude, of course.
Sold.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out,
That's
Oh, Pat, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. And listener, thank you for being here and hanging out with us while we talked about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine to you.
What just happened?
Guys, if you enjoyed the show, go talk about us on social media, please. And, rate and review us on iTunes or Spotify or any podcasting app or YouTube, where you can find us and some videos that we post at youtube.com/mutantmenace.
Yeah, you can also support us on Patreon. We have a free tier. We have a pay what you want tier. Patreon.com/mutantmenace. We have bonus content for you. We have early access to bonus episodes, outtake reels, fun little side podcast that we do. Please join our Patreon. We also accept emails, mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. We'll put you on Pat's email corner.
And if you email just your name, no subject in the subject line, we will read your name at the top. And you better at home be saying,
you need to say it along with us. As soon as you hear your name.
Yeah, you need to say it. Otherwise,
you say it with us.
You have betrayed us, and we will hunt you down like Kitty Pryde hunting down Logan. I want to say thank you to Julia Selly for the voice of Trish Tilby, and I want to say thank you to Krills Wilson for all of our wonderful music. What else? Do we have anything else here, Pat?
Just our famous sign-off that we say every week, Matt. Folks, always remember, you're too tall and too darn ugly to be Yoda.
And, folks, as always, you're too tall and too darn ugly to be Yoda.
We finally did it.
We did it.